everybody, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Carly. I'm back from Montana, here in my own kitchen, and today I am going to share my favorite recipe for fettuccine Alfredo. This sauce is so easy to make. There's only 5 ingredients. That's it, only 5. The sauce is super creamy and rich, delicious. You're gonna love it. So let's check out the ingredients that you're gonna need, and then we will make the sauce together. Stay tuned. All right, guys, I have all the ingredients that we're gonna need for our fettuccine Alfredo sauce right here. Super simple, not a whole lot that goes into it. First, you're going to need your fettuccine pasta, of course. I have a pound of pasta here. Any brand will do. The most important part of the Alfredo sauce is, of course, the Parmesan cheese. So this is nice and grated. Ooh, it's cheesy. This is the base of your sauce. So you really want to spend the money, get a good quality Parmesan cheese. I got mine from Whole Foods. You can get yours anywhere. I love Whole Food brand. They have a ton of high quality Parmesan cheese. So this is an 8-ounce block of cheese grated, which comes out to approximately 2 cups. And then we have heavy whipping cream, which you will need 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. 1 pint is 16 ounces. So this is exactly what we're gonna need. And you need 1 stick of butter. This is salted butter. I like mine salted because I like my Alfredo sauce to have a salty base to it. So use 1 stick of salted butter, and most importantly, you're gonna need some garlic powder, and last but not least, some pepper. I do have some salt out just in case we need it. First step, all right, we've got my saucepan is preheated to a medium heat. We're gonna add in the stick of butter here. Let's add that in. It's gonna melt, looking good. All right, so our butter is melting on medium heat. You want that to melt nice and slow. You do not want to brown your butter. You don't want to burn it. I got out a whisk. I like to whisk my sauce. So, you know, just kind of slowly move it around there so it melts nice and evenly. Once the butter is completely melted, then we are going to add in our heavy cream. So let's get that nice and melted here. Little piece left. All right, so I'm going to turn the heat up to a medium high, and I'm going to slowly add in the heavy whipping cream. You want all 2 cups in there. This is 1 pint, which is exactly 16 ounces, 2 cups. And you're gonna mix it together. Now you want this to slowly come to a boil. So the cream rises really quickly as it heats. So you wanna continuously stir this. I'm just kind of whipping it real good to get all the butter mixed in. But then you wanna watch this carefully. So I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. It has a long way to go to heat up. But keep an eye on this because you don't want it to boil too quickly or it will rise out and spill over your pot. So keep an eye on it. It's starting to get a little frothy at the top. That is your first sign that it's starting to get closer to a boil. So I definitely want to continue to stir this more frequently as it is going to start to rise here very quickly. All right, see how my cream is, oh, it's starting to rise. So I'm gonna remove this from the heat real quickly. Start to stir, I don't want it to overflow. Let it go back down. But see how quickly that boils? So I'm gonna turn my heat down now back to a medium low. It's already simmering, and we're gonna slowly start to add in our Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna put it back on the burner. Oop, it's still pretty hot. I'm gonna keep it right there, medium, and we're gonna slowly start to add in some of this parm. You wanna melt it, stir it in, add it little by little because you don't want it to get real clumpy. So add little by little, stirring it well until all of it's melted. And then add some more. You're gonna keep doing this until you have only about a handful of parm cheese left. I'm gonna actually move this back over the heat here. we want it to simmer again. It's really all about controlling the heat, the temperature of the cream, and then slowly mixing in and melting that Parmesan cheese. That Parm cheese is what's going to give your Alfredo the base of its flavor. Notice your sauce, your Alfredo sauce, getting thicker and thicker. This is exactly what you want. This is how you kind of create the texture of the sauce. As it heats, it will thicken. And you'll notice too, as your sauce begins to cool on the pasta, it'll thicken even more. So even if you think it's still a little bit liquidy, it will start to thicken even more as it sits on the pasta. We're gonna add in the garlic powder. So here's your garlic powder. I eyeball it, but usually you want to add in about, I would say, I like mine really garlicky, so I usually add in about half a teaspoon. Totally up to you and your taste preference. I like my Alfredo to be a little bit more on the garlicky side, so I add, like I said, about a half a teaspoon. Stir that in there real well. Also use the taste test method. So, you know, I kind of eyeball it and then I taste it, see where I'm at. And let's get our pepper. Stir in that pepper there. I don't really know how much pepper I use. I kind of just eyeball it. You know, I know how I like the mixture, so I see, you know, some pepper flakes in there. That looks to be about enough pepper for me. All right, and that's about it. So the sauce is done. I'm just gonna let it simmer here. I want it to get a little thicker, so I'm gonna keep letting it simmer, and then we're gonna let our pasta water boil. Our water's boiling. We're gonna do a little taste test here. I have a feeling it needs a little more seasoning, so I just want to taste test it, find out what it needs. Let's see. It definitely needs some more salt, garlic, and pepper. So let's add a little bit of each in here. You just gotta kind of go by your own flavor. Everybody has their own taste preference. I like, as I said, I like my Alfredo to be a little more on the garlicky side. Let's mix that on in. And we're going to add our pasta. So now we're gonna let that continue to thicken and simmer. I'm gonna turn the heat back down, way low. And let's add our fettuccine into the water. I'm making a whole pound. You can make half a pound. Even if I don't put all the Alfredo sauce in here, we'll create another recipe with it later. So, let the noodles sink on in there. I always add a little trick that I've learned is always salt your pasta water. So I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that it helps the water to boil quicker. I think it gives it better flavor if I need to use the pasta water in my sauce, so I always salt my pasta water. All right, we're gonna let that boil for a little bit and stay tuned. I'll show you what we do next when we come back. All right, guys, so the pasta's done. I strained it. All right, guys, noodles are done. Let's give it a good old taste test here. Perfect. Just al dente enough. Okay. So the noodles are done, and we're gonna combine it with our Alfredo sauce. It looks yummy, it tastes good. So let's go ahead, let's combine it in the bowl. I'm gonna add a scoop of noodles. You always want to do your sauce first because noodles soak up the Alfredo sauce really quickly. I'm gonna add all the sauce first, and then we'll add the rest of the noodles to kind of balance it out. Okay, noodles are harder to grab than I thought. All right, let's add those in there. Okay, gotta give it a nice stir. Ooh, it's looking good. Okay, need a little more noodle. There we go. That should be good. Yum, this is turning out delicious. I can already tell. So don't overdo it with the noodles, because as this sets for a minute, it does soak up some of the pasta sauce. So you don't want your pasta to be dry. At least I don't like my pasta dry. Let's get a close-up of the pasta. It's looking delicious. I hope you guys enjoy. It's all set and ready. I typically serve this with either a Cajun chicken or some type of vegetable. It's really good. I hope you guys enjoy it.